At 2020 Optometric, your vision is their focus. Whether you're 5 or 65, Dr. Thomas Casagrande will get to know you, your lifestyle, and vision needs to ensure that your contacts or eyeglasses are a perfect fit and the right prescription every time. With the Valley's largest selection of eyewear, 2020 has over 2,000 frames, including top designer brands like Coach, Tiffany, Prada, Ray-Ban, Oakley, and more. Eye exams start as low as $89, so call or stop by to schedule your appointment today. Hi, I'm John Mallos. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with Me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this day. Glad you are here, my friends, because today we're devoting the entire hour to the Donald Trump visit last Friday right here in the city of Fresno. It was quite a rally. You can call in at 436-ME-TV option 11. We'll show you video and portions of the speech and protest that you didn't see on any of the other local stations. You're welcome to call in and chime in right after this brief timeout, and I believe Thomas Casagrande, he is a doctor at work, my friends. He is from 2020 Optometrics, our sponsor today on the program.
Tonight I want to discuss the importance of the television medium to the American people.
Welcome back to the program here on a Tuesday morning on Connect with Me on MeTV Fresno. So glad you're here. The next hour should be a very exciting one as we're going to talk about Donald Trump's visit here in Fresno last Friday. Video that you didn't see on some of the other stations. We're going to devote the full 60 minutes to what Donald Trump had to say and the protesters outside and the reaction from Chief Jerry Dyer, who should be given a Medal of Honor, my friends. Just joking, but he did keep the peace and he did a great job out there. Quick programming note for tomorrow: Brandy Orth is going to be here. She is from the Fresno County Registrar's Office, and 1 week from today you will go to the polls and vote in the California primary to decide who you want as your nominee. Will it be Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton on the Democratic side? It appears that Donald Trump, he's the presumptive nominee. He has it wrapped up, but he was still here in Fresno. Now, I want to take you back to last Friday, and I know the Trump speech was shown live. Of course, his arrival here in Fresno and the speech at Selland Arena. There were about 7,000 people by everybody's best estimates as far as that's concerned. But some of the things that you didn't see on live television were some of the protesters. Now, let me take you back to last Friday before Trump's arrival. This was about, I don't know, around 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. Donald Trump scheduled to speak about 10 o'clock, and on the west side of the building at Selland Arena, there was a small gathering of protesters, maybe about 90 to 100 of them. Now, don't let that fool you. They were very loud, very boisterous, and very demanding of Donald Trump to stop his racism. I will advise you, viewer discretion in this one. If you have small kids in the room, be advised. Here are the protesters on the west side of Selland prior to Donald Trump's speech. do you dislike Donald Trump?
Because he's fascist, he's sexist, he's ignorant.
Say that again.
Because he's fascist, he's sexist, he's ignorant.
Okay, thank you. Why do you dislike Donald Trump?
He's very bad for the country. He's very divisive.
Take care of your child!
He is not good for this country at all.
All right, some of the protesters on the west side of Selland Arena right before Donald Trump arrived on the scene and entered the building, and they have the right to voice their opinions. There were police barricades all over on the west side, as you can imagine, so they couldn't bust their way through. It was a small gathering, but then about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes later, maybe a little bit more, the motorcade carrying Donald Trump came down Ventura Avenue and turned into Selland Arena underground, and then he went inside Selland, where he was greeted by a very raucous crowd there, about 7,000. Now keep in mind, the building only holds about 9,200, but there were roughly 7,000 people that greeted Donald Trump as he entered the building. Here's what it looked like. Here's what it sounded like.
What a crowd! What a crowd! It's so beautiful to have this many people. I saw on television this morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, people were lining up. This is crazy, crazy.
That's right, it really was crazy. You didn't really see Donald enter through that black curtain. That's really what I wanted to show, and we never did show it. Maybe we'll show that later in the program, I'm not sure, but let's roll the videotape, my friends, take you inside, show you some of the crowd inside Selland as Donald Trump spoke to the crowd there on Friday morning. The crowd estimates vary depending on who you talk to. That's what it looked like from the media position, of course. Roughly 7,000. The speech itself lasted about an hour to an hour and a half, and Trump, right off the bat, well, he mentioned that he knows Fresno very well because of Running Horse and the failed deal. And Trump talked about water issues, insisting that if he is elected president, our water problems in California are over. Don't even think about it, Donald Trump said. He touched on the environmentalists, clean air, clean water. Then Trump started in on Hillary Clinton, the Second Amendment, and in his own words, she has been a very big disaster. He mentioned her email scandal. He talked about ISIS, how much he loved women, and he wants the female vote, and the hell with the male vote. And yes, he mentioned the wall and how Mexico is going to pay for it. He also, well, he entertained by saying that, all right, get him out of here. Live in our studio right now, we're not going to get him out of here. Paul Deffenbach, he is the communications chair for Fresno County Republican Party. He is here to dissect anything and all of what Donald Trump said on Friday morning. We're going to show you more video here, more protest outside, what happened inside the arena when some of those protesters were thrown out. Anyway, 436-ME-TV, option 11. We're back with our guest, Paul Deffenbach from the Republican Party, in just a moment.
When you're looking for KitchenAid innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, will help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified KitchenAid appliances save you energy and money, and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
At 2020 Optometric, your vision is their focus. Whether you're 5 or 65, Dr. Thomas Casagrande will get to know you, your lifestyle, and vision needs to ensure that your contacts or eyeglasses are a perfect fit and the right prescription every time. With the Valley's largest selection of eyewear, 2020 has over 2,000 frames, including top designer brands like Coach, Tiffany, Prada, Ray-Ban, Oakley, and more. Eye exams start as low as $89, so call or stop by to schedule your appointment today.
Not sure what you're watching? Want to see what's coming up next? Or just want to browse what's on without the hassle of flipping channels? Your wish has come true. Now you can view schedules for all the digital TV channels available in the Central Valley. Get local weather updates and forecasts, and listen to nationally syndicated Biz Talk Radio, all on KVHF 4.1. Rescan your TV now, then tune in to Digital Channel 4.1 to start enjoying the all-new TV Guide.
Well, I want to thank everybody. I know Fresno very well. You know that, right? Because I came here probably 10 or 12 years ago, and they had a problem. You remember the problem, right? They had a problem. I think it was running horse, right? Running horse. And I was going to take it over and do a beautiful job. Fortunately, I didn't do it because there's no water anymore, because they send all the water out to the ocean, right? I got lucky that I didn't do it, but I would have changed the water. I would have worked it out. Don't worry. But, you know, so it was interesting.
All right, Donald Trump speaking to the crowd at Sullen Arena last Friday morning. Here is Paul Deffenbach from the Republican Party. Paul, what do you think?
Well, I think Trump addressed the major issue in California, especially the Valley, being water. He recognizes that the politicians have sent 380 million acre feet last drought out the Golden Gate Bridge when it could have been used for crops or whatever here in California. And frankly, he, as president, would have the power to turn on the pumps and put those into existing storage without even building more storage. He could take care of it very quickly by an executive order or managing how the EPA handles its issues. And it was something that farmers want to hear, and I think anyone in the Valley would like to hear.
Here's one of the alarming things that, that I found on Saturday is that you had one of Trump's campaign advisors and communications director speaking on either Fox News or CNN on Saturday morning, and they played that exact soundbite that you just heard, that Trump 1 soundbite that we had, talking about water, talking about the fish and this and that. And this is what I found about, this is what I discovered about that interview. Not only did his campaign advisor not know or was not aware of the Delta smelt, but the news anchor who was asking the questioning, she was saying, what is he talking about, water? What is he talking about, that little 3-inch fish? Neither one of them knew. So you know what that tells me? A light goes on in top of my head, and I say to myself, maybe people around the country, even Donald Trump's people, are not aware of our water problems and why that water is going down into the ocean.
Well, I think you're right about the East Coast really doesn't care what happens in the flyover portion of California. But and it's not so important that Mr. Trump's advisors or media folks know about it. It's important that Mr. Trump knows about it. And he clearly is going to be in charge of those types of things. That is, media person didn't know should be corrected, but that Donald Trump knows is much more important.
Right. Let's run soundbite number 2, speech number 2 from Donald Trump, and he is talking about the water and the fish and the environmentalists, and he says, look, when I'm elected president, we're going to solve the water problems right here in the state of California. Don't lose any sleep over it. Don't worry about it.
And we're going to solve your water problem. You have a water problem that is so insane. It is so ridiculous, where they're taking the water and shoving it out to sea. And I just met with a lot of the farmers who are great people, and they're saying, we don't even understand it. They don't understand. Nobody understands it. And I've heard this from other friends of mine in California, where they have farms up here, and they don't get water. I said, oh, that's too bad. Is it a drought? No, we have plenty of water. I said, what's wrong? Well, we shove it out to sea. And I said, why? And nobody even knows why. And the environmentalists don't know why. Now, they're trying to protect a certain kind of 3-inch fish. But, no, think of it. So nobody even knows why. And by the way, the environmentalists don't know why. And you know, I should say this. I've received many, many environmental rewards. You know, really, rewards and awards. I have done very well environmentally, and I'm all for it. But you have some people that really want to just get in the way. And I don't know if it's for their ego or what, But there are so many things, and you know, we want jobs. We have to bring jobs back. And if we can bring this part of the world water that we have,
Any reaction there, Paul?
Well, I think one of the big messages to put out there should be in Spanish, which is no agua, no trabajo, which translates into no water, no work. And I think the comments of the protesters outside and the comments of a lot of Democrats out there saying the Hispanics won't vote for Mr. Trump are wrong, because they recognize their jobs are being decimated by environmental policies, Democrat policies in general, minimum wage laws, and unfettered immigration, which is driving down the cost of labor in this country. And Mr. Trump has directly addressed those things. So a lot of Hispanics will understand no agua, no trabajo, and they'll be able to come on board and vote in higher numbers than expected or predicted by the left and the mainstream media.
I know that cable news interview on Saturday just told me that people around the country don't care about our water problems, don't care to solve our water problems. You're telling me that Donald Trump will solve them?
I see a path for which Donald Trump can solve it rather quickly, because most of the issues involved with managing water are bureaucratic in nature with the EPA, the governor, and the state water board. So he can overcome those as president of the United States. And if anything, President Obama has showed us the power of executive order. And that can make a big difference.
All right, let's talk about another video clip here from Donald Trump, one of his speeches, here in Fresno last Friday. And if you hear this next soundbite, he sounds like an environmentalist, because he's talking about clean air and clean water. He sounds like a Democrat. Let's roll it.
You know, my environmental standard is very simple, and I've said it to everybody. I want clean air and I want clean water. That's what I want. Clean air, clean water. Very, very simple. So anyway, so we're going to be back up here. If I win, believe me, we're going to start opening up the water so that you can have your farmers survive, so that your job market will get better. No, but there are some things that are inconceivable that, you know, they happen and you wonder why. And I'm asking everybody why, and nobody can really explain why they do this, but they do it. And your senators are for it, but they're totally ineffective, unfortunately. They're ineffective. You know, they're for it. By the way, they're for it for you, and then to the other side, they're for it for them. And then I wonder why nothing happens. But when you're with the senators, they want you. And then they go over to the environmental side, and they want them. And then you say, gee, that's strange. They're for me. We want the water, but the environmentalists just endorse them. I wonder why. Well, I'll tell you how it works, folks. So they play both sides of it, but they're actually not for you. So we'll see what happens. But we're going to get it done, and we're going to get it done quick. Don't even think about it. That's an easy one. Don't even think about it.
Don't even think about it, Paul. Only he can rev up the crowd like that, right?
Well, yeah, and you know, it's kind of hard to understand someone from New York. And maybe we should have an interpreter there. And
Not really. I mean, it's a plain language. He says, "Don't think about it. We'll take care of it." You know,
he'll take care of it, and don't worry about it. But he's also making a promise to California. And one other thing to note is that. Although the East Coast doesn't understand our issues here, or a lot of advisors, the key is that in electing a president, it is 50 separate elections, and one of those elections will be the electoral votes from California. I think Donald Trump is hitting on issues that'll pull a lot of working class and working Democrats away from the Democrat Party on trade, on water, on regulation, environmental regulations that are just stifling job opportunities, not only in the Valley, but in the entire state.
Can he win California in the general?
It depends. I personally believe that Hillary won't make it out of the Democrat convention. I think that her fate is in the hands of Barack Obama, and he's never liked her. The report last week on her email scandal at the Department of State was very damaging, and the only reason that she's still in is that she has they believe she can beat Trump. When that belief is gone, so is she.
But can Donald win? It doesn't matter who the Democratic nominee, whether it's Bernie, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton. Can he win California come November?
I believe he can, for the simple reason that he's hitting on trade issues, job issues, and the economy.
Yeah. Go ahead, caller. Short on time. Your question, please.
Okay. I like Trump, and I like what he said about the water. And we have two water problems. The first one is indeed the EPA keeping the water from coming down. And, of course, the same guy that tried to get people to pay for the water on his property is the head of the EPA. So, of course, that's one of the reasons we don't have water flowing. But the second reason is we are not allowed to have rain in California due to the HARP, H-A-R-R-P, in Alaska, which is interfering with the weather. You can go online and see the meteorological deals where they show how it takes and dries up all the moisture in the air so that by the time this gets over the California, there's no water to be had, even though there was a nice, wonderful, low pressure over the coast. By the time it gets to us, there is no water.
All righty. Well, thank you for your comments. I really appreciate it. She is right about that. But quickly, as we go to break here, and we need to talk about water storage because we are going to have those drought years. Does Donald Trump understand water storage? We need water storage.
There's nothing indicating in his speech about storage. I think he's getting over the immediate concern that we aren't using the capabilities of the storage we have now effectively. And in long term, we do need more storage. But eventually, I think we'll get to that. But the initial thing is that we need to turn on the pumps and use existing storage, and he can take care of that.
All right, back with more of Donald Trump on our show here in just a moment.
Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer, and now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
The following is a list of celebrities you will not see on MeTV programs. Charlie Sheen, Lindsay Lohan, Snooki, Paris Hilton, Perez Hilton, Honey Boo Boo, Justin Bieber, Simon Cowell, Chris Brown, Miley Cyrus, and the Real Housewives of any place. This is who you will see on MeTV programs. Lucy, Ralph, Mary, Perry, Gilligan, Kenner, Spock, Batman, Rowdy, Festus, and the Beaver. MeTV. Thanks for watching.
So, yesterday was a big day. You know, yesterday, right? Yeah, we're going to bring it back, folks. We're going to bring this country back. You know what it is? Look at all those red hats, white hats, the black hats. The gun-shooting hats, they do pretty well, I'll tell you. Speaking of that, the NRA last week endorsed Donald Trump in the earliest endorsement they've ever given. The earliest they've ever given. That was a great honor. And Wayne and Chris and all the guys, these are great people. These are great Americans. These are people that want to see great things for the country. You know, they try and build them like sort of a radical agenda. It's not a radical agenda. It's called the Second Amendment, folks. Now, Hillary Clinton wants to abolish the Second Amendment. Remember that. She wants to abolish it. And it's disgraceful. You know, I watched her on television, and it's really hard for me to watch her because, honestly, it's very boring. You know, it's very boring. But I watched her last night, And she lies so much. She lies so much. And she was saying last night so many things. Donald Trump wants to see Japan get nuclear weapons. I never said that. Donald Trump wants to see Germany get nuclear weapons. He wants to see South Korea arm themselves and get nuclear. I didn't say that. I never even said close to that. Donald Trump loves North Korea. He loves the maniac that's running North Korea. I love it. Donald Trump is a friend of Putin. Well, actually, Putin did call me a genius, and he said I'm the future of the Republican Party. So.
All right, so what was he referring to there? The big cheers at the beginning, talking about the NRA,
well,
and what else?
Also on that day, South Dakota put him over the number of delegates that he needs to win on the first ballot in Cleveland convention for the GOP. So North Dakota actually had a press conference out there, accepted the final number of delegates from the National Committee man and woman and chairman of South Dakota, put him over the top.
Let me play devil's advocate. We have a caller here, but I'm going to ask you to hold just for a moment. Let me just play a devil's advocate. If I am a Democrat or any Democrat out there, are they going to care whether or not Donald Trump is endorsed by the NRA, or are they going to say to themselves, well, you know, I kind of expected that, so what's the big deal?
I don't think it'll move votes all that much, but
Okay.
it does confirm his conservative bona fides to have the NRA.
And that he favors the Second Amendment,
That
and
he favors
protects the right of individuals to own a gun.
And contrast that with Hillary Clinton, and a lot of Democrats own guns. Let's just put it that way, and they've been after guns in a long time.
Quickly, caller, short on time, but your question, please, to Paul.
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air. Quickly.
Yeah, I have a question.
Sure.
Yeah, that remark about the water, that if Donald Trump is not elected, we're not going to have water. And they always refer to Hispanic. I'm a Hispanic. And I'll tell you one thing. That's intimidating. Otherwise, either you vote for Trump, and if you don't get water.
Well, I
Okay,
don't.
Thank you.
I don't think it's meant to intimidate as much as it's saying, hey, the Democrats will not deliver on water. They promise and promise and promise and never deliver. That's Jim Costa's problem. He talks about fighting for water and never delivers a single drop. That is the Democrat playbook. In addition to that, they are much more beholden to environmental interests than they are to farmers and people who work the farm, namely a lot of Hispanic workers out there. And you don't have to be Hispanic to be affected by 2 million acre feet going fallow in this valley right now. And it's fallow because politicians have not delivered the water that they promised. And Donald Trump is promising to deliver the water that is available, and that will make a big difference in the economy, and every worker, Hispanic or white or Asian in this valley, and that's the important thing.
Okay, I want to do something a little different. I want to go to speech number 6. Speech number 6, where he was talking about Hillary Clinton being a total disaster. He's talking about Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders, who, by the way, paid a visit to Fresno on Sunday night. We're going to have a special show on Bernie, too. Do you feel the burn? Right now, we're feeling the burn from Donald Trump, talking about Hillary Clinton in speech number 6. Listen to this, my friends.
Look, Hillary is a disaster, folks. She has bad judgment. That was said by Bernie Sanders. He's given me a lot of my best lines. I mean, he has given me such great lines on her. And, you know, if I say it, they're going to say, that's not a nice thing to say. So I always refer to Bernie Sanders because, you know, and we do get much bigger crowds than him. We get much bigger crowds. And I want to debate him so badly. I'd love to debate Bernie. But, you know, people say, first of all, I said, give 10 million, 15 million to women's health issues. We'll pick the charities. And the networks want to keep the money themselves. That's one thing. So that's a problem. Then the second thing is, we got the nomination yesterday, right? So we have the nomination. So we're number 1.
It appears that debate won't happen between Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders, although they wanted to debate on Jimmy Kimmel Live. You heard Donald Trump say there, no, I don't think so, because the networks want all the money. We want the money to go to charity. Later in his speech, he addressed Hillary Clinton again, talking about the emails. And of course, last week, the Inspector General's report came out. You know, the State Department only does criminal investigations. They don't do inquiries, okay? Only criminal investigations. And Donald Trump addressed the issue in speech number 9. Play that cut.
But this Inspector General report was a real doozy. This was a bad report. This was page after page. And, you know, it goes back to judgment. It goes back to competence. She's not competent. If you look, she's essentially not competent. It goes to her judgment. It goes to her level of competence. And she's not competent. And it's always been this way. She's always skirted on the edge, whether it's Whitewater or whether it's all of these things going into, how about Benghazi? But look at, and you know what? And I say this, and I say it because Benghazi to me was a horrific situation. But for whatever reason, the mainstream media, because they're trying to protect her, they never picked it up. Fox picked it up more than anybody, in all fairness, but they never picked it up. And a lot of people don't know so much about Benghazi like they should know. But her decision to go in, and this was her baby, Libya, was a disaster. And she got rid of Gaddafi, and now you have a mess. And you know who has the oil? Who has the oil in Libya? ISIS has the oil. So you know what we got out of it? We got death. We got destruction. We got ISIS rebuilding stronger than ever in Libya and having among the greatest. The level of quality of oil in Libya is among the best in the world.
All right, so 2 things to analyze there. No debate between Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders, and then the email scandal. So what do you think, Roger, or Paul?
Well, the debate makes no sense, and he said it at the top. He's won. He has no benefit other than downside to debate Bernie.
Maybe to get back at Hillary Clinton for some reason or other.
Well, I think whoever comes out of the nomination process, he'll get back just fine.
Okay.
But on the Benghazi, and the overall foreign policy of the Democrat administration has been horrid. It's been terrible. And
Yeah.
Benghazi is one example of that, but relations with China and Russia and Europe and Japan, those all are identified as problems that are really something that Democrat foreign policy has been terrible about.
Hang on, caller, but quickly, Hillary has said, look, you know, you've had other Secretary of States do the same thing with their emails. They've had private servers, but to my knowledge, from what I've read, only one, and that was Colin Powell. Correct me if I'm wrong. Have there been others?
She said Condoleezza Rice, but the real question is what was being sent over that email, and she
What do you
was,
mean by that?
whether classified email was going through it.
All right.
It could be personal email server is great, but she was using it exclusively as Secretary of State. That is different.
That's
in
a
addition,
no-no, huh?
In addition to that, we have it's been hacked by Guccifer, and it's been hacked by the Chinese, and it's a very big national security threat.
Got to go to break. Paul Deffenbach is here, Communications Chair, Fresno County Republican Party. We have a caller waiting. Caller, you're going to have to wait until after the break. Back after this from Thomas Casagrande, 2020 Optometrics. At 2020 Optometric, your vision is their focus. Whether you're 5 or 65, Dr. Thomas Casagrande will get to know you, your lifestyle, and vision needs to ensure that your contacts or eyeglasses are a perfect fit and the right prescription every time. With the Valley's largest selection of eyewear, 2020 has over 2,000 frames, including top designer brands like Coach, Tiffany, Prada, Ray-Ban, Oakley, and more. Eye exams start as low as $89, so call or stop by to schedule your appointment today.
Illegal immigration's a tremendous issue, a big issue. Oh, that's okay. Oh, thank you so much. You have such a beautiful voice. All right, get him out. Get him out. Get him out of here. So what it really shows, hey, by the way, do we love our police? Our police, we love our police. You gotta let them know. Because our police are not treated fairly, I will tell you that. All right, thank you very much, that's good. She had a very meek, mild voice. Usually you're better off just letting her shout. It's my people that cause the problem. They start screaming, look over here, and you can't even hear the person, right? That's all right. Well, it's good because then the cameras go around. You know, the cameras never take the camera off me. The only way they take the camera off me, the only way is when there's a protester. So I love my protesters. I love my protesters.
All right, back here, of course, Paul Deffenbach and the caller. Let's take the caller first because you've been waiting. Go ahead.
I'd like to speak a little bit on the criminal qualities of Clinton. Okay. She had what they call the Rose Law Firm. That was her law firm. Yep. She was involved in writing the loans for Mr. Clinton's money laundering of drug money. Amounted to $100 million a day that was going through that AD fund, whatever you call it, there in Arkansas. And the first loan that she papered out was to the POM company so that they could manufacture the nose cones to put on the planes to carry that cocaine in.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that call. So another Hillary supporter, I see. No, just being facetious there. Anyway, Paul, there was a lot going on inside the arena with some of the protesters. And, you know, I do want to run another piece of videotape with the protesters during the Trump speech. It's called Thrown Out of Selland Arena. They were thrown out of Selland Arena. We saw just a bit of it there, but I want to play this in its entirety, sound. You can see the whole thing for yourself. These are the protesters interrupting the speech. You won't hear Donald talking too much here, but you'll see the protesters in the upper deck, the upper tiers of Selland being tossed by local police. Trump loves his protesters, but a very common scene at a Donald Trump speech. Caller, you're on the air. What's your question? Very quickly, please.
For industrial.
Okay. That caller was not very patient. He thought he was on the air, but he wasn't. So, very common, but Donald Trump, I think, likes it when they protest. Does he not?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I think he recognizes that some of these protesters push more Democrats to want to vote for him. If that's representative of the Democrat Party, which I would say is wholly socialist now, if that's the way in which they wish to do politics, I think it offends the feelings of a lot of good American-loving Democrats out there that push them closer to him.
I showed a lot of protesters on the outside and what they think of Donald Trump and what they thought. But inside, before the event, believe it or not, Paul, I found some very supportive of Donald Trump, and some of those supporters are, in fact, Hispanic. I want to run this next clip here. It's called MOS Bites. These are some of the Donald Trump supporters in the stands at Selland Arena waiting for the Donald to arrive on stage, giving their thoughts about why they support the Republican, well, I guess you could call him still the presumptive nominee, but he's basically the nominee and he's going to win California. Here's what they had to say. MOS Bites. Okay, having some technical issues here. Got to go to break, and we'll be back in just a moment.
When you're looking for KitchenAid innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, will help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified KitchenAid appliances save you energy and money, and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
So you're a Trump supporter, why?
Because he doesn't have anybody in his back pocket, and because he tells the truth. He may need a filter, but at least he says what is right.
What does Hillary say? What does Bernie say? They're going to raise the taxes. They're going to make the American taxpayer pay for this program or that program. Donald Trump proposes a major government program, the wall on the border. Who's going to pay for it? Mexico. Who's going to pay for NATO, the NATO countries?
I just don't think that Hillary or Bernie are going to do anything that's going to help the country. They're going to make everyone live off the government.
So what's the one issue that you like about Trump?
I think he's going to build a wall, and I think it's actually going to be great.
Are you Hispanic?
Yes, I am.
And do his immigration policies offend you?
You know what? We don't take them personal because, I mean, we've been in this, I mean, I was born in Mexico, but I'm a U.S. citizen now. My parents were immigrants too. So I just want him to, I just see Trump as someone that's going to do some good for this country. And I think in the end, he's going to end up helping the people that really want to stay in this country and do good for us.
Well, I'm Trump supporter day one because I heard his message, make America great again, and I fall in love with that message.
Do his immigration policies bother you?
No, not at all.
All right, some of the Donald Trump supporters prior to his arrival at Selland, so you see some Hispanics there do support Trump, but that doesn't mean he's going to get the overall Hispanic vote, right? I mean, it's
well,
it's
he
yet to be
doesn't
seen.
need to and win. He
Right.
doesn't need that. I was looking at polling numbers this morning.
Mhm.
He's generally polling 64% of Caucasians in. That will overwhelm a whole lot of the minority vote. However, no one knows. This is a changed election. One of the comments out there was that the Democrat leadership and the Republican leadership has really been in the interests of special interests and not in the interests of the people, and he's tapping into that better than anyone else.
Okay, I want to change course here, Ara. I want to go with speech number 7 instead. Speech number 7, where he's talking about the female vote. Speech number 7, remember he said the hell with the men. I want the female vote, and there were a
absolutely.
lot of female voters and supporters that were standing in front, right in front of Donald Trump's podium. Play it and listen to it.
You know, we're breaking records in the polls with men. I love you too, see? They're all screaming, women love you. I love women. But believe me, I love women. I love women. And you know what else? I have great respect for women, believe me. Great respect for women. But I won with women, I won with men. Now with men, I'm setting records. That's why I'm leading. The men The men I'm setting polling records. They've never seen numbers like this. The men like Trump. I'd rather have the women like Trump. The hell with the men.
All right, quite entertaining there. There's no question about that. It's got to be a quick phone call here. Caller, it's got to be a very quick question. No comment, but a question, please.
Oh, well, this whole thing with the immigration thing, I was going to address something else, but with the immigration, that wall is just a physical manifestation of the problem in this country, which is that there's still that great divide, a wall that's all over this country between people of color and a lot of Anglos in this country. That wall's just a physical manifestation. In the 1930s, a lot of people were, there was a attempted repatriation of Mexican people. There was about 1 million people.
All right. Thank you very much. What do you think about that?
I think the most important color in America is green, and that's the economy. And whether you're black, Hispanic, Asian, or white, what really matters is that the future of this country is built upon Americans being free, Americans having opportunity, a good education, and moving forward to provide something of value to their fellow citizens.
All right, the arena erupted when he came in. The arena erupted at the end of his speech, the end speech for Donald Trump, the end of his speech. Very enormous eruption here, as you'll see at Selland Arena on Friday. All right, Donald Trump at the end of his speech, the arena erupted. And one of the things, Paul, that Donald Trump likes to do, and every candidate does, they like to walk that line along the railing, shake as many hands as they can. And as you'll see this, walking the line, that's the video I want next. You got that? Walking the line. Have we got that? Donald Trump surrounded by as many as 10 Secret Service people. What purpose does this serve? Let's look at the video and ask Paul on the other side. All right, and with that, the Secret Service going crazy. You know, I would imagine they're watching every movement that possible within the crowd, right?
Absolutely.
And what's the purpose of walking the line like that?
Well, it connects the candidate with the voters and the supporters that they have. And, you know, people get a souvenir and turn into a bigger volunteer and a story that they'll save for their grandchildren as well as their neighbors. But in addition to that, the Secret Service have a doubly tough job now because the drug cartels in Mexico have offered to kill Mr. Trump. So that's news of this week, and that's a big deal when the drug cartels are after him. Makes the Secret Service jobs even harder. But I will say that the job that the police did on Friday was amazing, and I think Chief Dyer personally getting involved in diffusing it is
We're going to talk
fantastic.
about that. We're going to talk about that. Let's go to arrest video number 1. This took place shortly after the motorcade left Selland Arena and Donald Trump was on his way to the airport and out of Fresno. A big protest broke out. Several hundred, maybe 400 to 500 protesters right there in front of Selland Arena on Ventura Avenue. Arrest 1. Let's play the video as 1 gets arrested.
Covered up, get back. Sally Ford open down. I got a wagon, Rick. I got a wagon. Two guys. Two bodies. Two bodies. Two bodies. Line it back up. Line it back up. Preston, line back up. Okay, guys.
Viewer discretion advised there. Let's go to arrest number 2. They had a couple of arrests on scene, and since that took place on Friday, and as of today, there have been 4 arrested because police looked at the videotape and arrested someone else during that protest. But arrest number 2 on the scene Friday in front of Selland Arena on Ventura Avenue.
So we're going to give you a would you like me to call anyone? You guys can walk that way.
All right, last chance. We're getting ready to move. Move. On my command. Take 3 steps forward. Go. Nice and easy. Nice and easy.
All right, that female protester refusing to move, so Chief Jerry Dyer had no issue with arresting that young lady, and he gave her plenty of warning. Now, Chief Jerry Dyer should obviously be recognized for doing a tremendous job in showing restraint and giving the example to the rest of the nation, because on that night on Friday, the same day in San Diego, they had several arrests down there. They had several hundred protesters. Let's go to the Jerry Dyer interview as I talked to Jerry Dyer, the police chief here in the city of Fresno, during and right in the middle of those protests on Friday afternoon. Play it. Chief, I think you set the example for the rest of the nation today on how to handle a protest like this. You did an amazing job. How'd you do it?
Well, just a lot of patience, and we had a lot of planning and preparation in advance of this event. We made sure that our officers were fully equipped, as you saw on the front line here. We kept them out of sight until things got out of control, until several hundred people relocated to another part that we had to take control of. So then we had to move them from another location where Mr. Trump was going to be leaving from, That took some work, but we were finally able to get them out of the area, allowing the motorcade and Mr. Trumph to leave the area. So now it's just been exercising a lot of patience, getting to move a little bit at a time, watching the crowd dissipate slowly, and now we're not too far away from being able to leave ourselves. We've cut loose about half of our officers now.
Was patience the key?
Patience was the absolute key, and having a really good plan in place. Even when things changed in the middle of it, patience was the key, and good communication with the crowd. You saw a lot of public address announcements by our officers and by me. A lot of interaction in the front with the crowd, shaking hands, taking pictures, whatever it took to get people to understand that we're not against them. We just want a peaceful assembly.
Did you study any of the videotapes from the prior protests, from Trump rallies?
I watched most of the videos that had been out there regarding Albuquerque as well as Anaheim. Anaheim was one we thought would be closest to us because of the daylight hours. Albuquerque was at night. They shouldn't have these events at night because they're extremely dangerous. They're dangerous enough during the day. You know, a few of our officers took some people throwing water bottles at them, but our officers used incredible restraint. They never left their positions or their roles. They stayed on the skirmish line, and I'm very, very proud of them. Not just Fresno Police Department, but California Highway Patrol, Sheriff's Department, Clovis PD. Everybody did an incredible job, and the media did a great job today as well. Very cooperative.
Okay, Chief Jerry Dyer addressing the media, of course, on Friday afternoon during the protest. And Paul, he did a tremendous job showing restraint, showing patience. He personally went up and took selfies with some of the protesters. He talked to them and warned them that if you don't leave, you can't stand out here all day. So did he set the example for the rest of the nation on how to handle this? Because many of these protests have gotten out of hand.
Well, I think he set a great example, though. I think our protest was a little bit toned down, frankly, because I don't think George Soros sent any buses of his professional agitators here, which he did send to San Diego and to Albuquerque.
And we have some of the photos, if you want to show those, of the protesters as we wrap up the show here. Very little time left, but go ahead.
Him being out in front of his guys, talking reasonably to those folks and say, hey, we don't want to have to arrest you. Here's what you do to avoid that. And someone made their political statement by going ahead and defying the order to disperse and got arrested rather humanely and well.
Yeah,
I think they did a great job
here in front of the Armenian church, of course. These are some of the groups of people, still photos that we took out there, and we had a whole cast of crew members out there taking photos. Here are the protesters, of course, Paul, sitting down on the hot pavement.
Well, they were trying to obstruct the motorcade from getting there, which that's fine. They did that at the CRP convention.
This was after the event was over.
Yeah,
but, yeah.
And so it is interesting to see how they're exercising their right of free speech. And frankly, I enjoy it as a Republican because, as I said before, I think they are throwing more and more voters over to the Republican side.
Police in riot gear right there in front of the church. So we've got about 10 seconds left. Go ahead.
I think that the police department did a great job. Dyer standing up there and being reasonable and being a celebrity himself, diffused a lot of situations. He was fabulous.
All right. I appreciate your time. Thank you for coming in. And come back again, would you?
Would love to. Thank you, John.
It was a lot of fun. All right. Paul Deffenbach, Communications Chair, Fresno County Republican Party. We'll talk to him again down the line. Tomorrow, Brandy Orth, Fresno County Registrar, is here in the studio. We'll show you more of Donald Trump's visit at that time. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. At 2020 Optometric, your vision is their focus. Whether you're 5 or 65, Dr. Thomas Casagrande will get to know you, your lifestyle, and vision needs to ensure that your contacts or eyeglasses are a perfect fit and the right prescription every time. With the Valley's largest selection of eyewear, 2020 has over 2,000 frames, including top designer brands like Coach, Tiffany, Prada,